Hi everyone, welcome to Anime Soirée. My name is Griffin. Today I'm joined with Will and Kyle, and we'll be talking about the seasonal anime Nagatoro-san, also known as Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. It's currently airing. Right now, 9 of 12 episodes have been released, and the anime depicts a romance between a timid teenage second year high schooler and a incoming freshman at the same high school. And it's kind of a harem. It's kind of a romance. It kind of, it's a balancing act between the two. It's a lot more tasteful than the few harems that I have seen. I believe Sekirei is like the only harem that I've really watched, and it's a lot more in your face about fan service in the show. The show is a little bit more subtle and it's a little bit more creative with some of the fan servicing they do, like having a girl step on your back with lotion on it and having you wear a dog collar at an amusement park. So they've got some really niche, I mean, almost like fetishes in here, and I think that's pretty amusing. And just kind of like the whimsical nature of like the lewdness and the romance itself actually not being that bad. Good animation. They have some pretty creative, scenes where they'll just like flash to Nagatoro like on a Mount Everest of slushies. There's a lot of creativity here and a lot of thought put into this show, despite that it's pretty sexualized. So I really enjoyed it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I've also enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was like you said, it was creative. I think the first two episodes they kind of serve as almost like a filter. Like they were a lot more over the top than the rest of them, as that kind of like introduction to the show.
Or an
But as you get
attractant.
through it, yeah, as you get through
You
it,
are.
like you said, the romance itself is like actually pretty decent. Because Nagatoro is not this invincible super bully. Like she actually gets very flustered by a lot of things. Like anytime something's turned back on her. And like you see Senpai like actually like use that to his advantage a couple times, and like that's interesting. And then like you also mentioned, they turn some like common tropes on their heads. Like I think like there's always like the common trope of like the guy accidentally falling on the girl and like touching her boobs or whatever, but she accidentally falls on him and touches his crotch, and it's just like all these like random like smaller like common fan servicey things that are changed up slightly. And yeah, like you said, overall it's like a pretty creative show. Um, it's a different thing than most of the stuff that we've watched, but it's interesting to watch.
Yeah, like you said about like the first couple episodes kind of being like a filter. Like I basically, I mean, I was gonna watch it for the podcast, but like honestly, like the first couple episodes, there was like a lot, like the bullying felt a lot more like mean spirited, I guess, especially in the first episode,
Yeah.
and that like kind of it gave me, I think it kind of gave me the wrong first impression of the show. And I was like, if this is gonna be the whole show where she's like actually just like destroying this kid all the time. Like I don't think I'm gonna enjoy it. But then I did kind of like how um I do think it was like an actual like kind of like a it was like a progression for Nagatoro to kind of like realize like, oh, like I kind of, actually like this guy. And so she like started to like lighten up, but still keep like the teasing vibe. And so I like that a lot more because it becomes a lot more wholesome, like after the first couple episodes. And I really like that dynamic that kind of develops after the initial bullying.
Yeah, I love the dynamic that develops with her and her friends. Like she's the only one that can tease Senpai, and like any single other time, like they try to tease him, that she gets extremely defensive, and like the comedic aspect of the animation when her face just goes, she gets like those beady eyes and shit, and she just like she gets really upset. I don't know. Those scenes were always funny for me.
They really
Yeah, it's definitely consistent with her character to like do that,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
yeah, I've got to say the whole group really like grew on me by the ninth episode. Like I find all of their like teasing like very endearing, and sometimes I think they go too far. There's a lot of moments where their all of their relationships with one another are um, I guess more meaningful when they need to be. Like there's always a few moments in every episode where they express that they do kind of like each other, they do kind of care for each other, and that Nagatoro and Senpai, they have this kind of teasing facade because they're kids. And I think over the episodes, they just kind of mature together a little bit, and it's pretty refreshing, honestly. I don't watch a lot of romance animes, but I think it's just pretty well executed romance overall.
Yeah. I think it's honestly, like getting to see the characters change, like it's like relatively slow, but getting to see Senpai himself change quite a bit, it's pretty cool. Like he cries in the first 2 episodes when he gets teased, and I don't think he's cried since, and like he
Hmm.
grows with the group, and like you see like he has that ultra Chad moment where he just walks up to the table and says, "Let's go," and just takes all the girls away from those two guys. Like that was a Giga Chad moment from Senpai, and like he's had a couple other moments like that, but it was like seeing him grow throughout of it's probably one of my things that I look forward to every episode, seeing how he'll be different this episode.
Dude, the placeholder chads are so funny, especially the
Yeah.
first altercation where he was like talking about the music he was making, and he's like, "Nah, you wouldn't get it. It's art, you know. Like half of art is just not understanding it, and you're probably not smart enough to get it."
Dude,
And then she
oh
just
my god.
shits on him, and she's like, "I feel nothing. It sounds like you didn't even try."
Yeah,
That's so
watching her
funny.
like roast his ass, like for somebody that she actually does not like getting to see the difference between her treating that guy and her treating Senpai was pretty great because she just reamed that dude. Holy shit.
I've got to say though, you know, I think that I like the romance and it seems legit, but I don't know. This is just such a like, you know, this is such a fantasy for a boy though,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's a little over the top, but I think that they roll with it. It just it was maybe first impressions when it was just like this loser dude who like literally looks like hentai pro tags with like the fucking with the glasses that you can't see his eyes through, and then him just like being like not caring at all, being super nervous, and then the girl being like super pushy and like you know very interested in him despite him coming off as kind of aloof. Like it's just such a like male fantasy, but I only had like that. I guess that bothered me only maybe the first few episodes. I guess.
Yeah. I definitely got that impression when I don't know, like you said, it's like a hentai protagonist, but I mean, I get over it pretty soon. Like you said, first 2 episodes it was
And he's
pretty
a manga
pretty.
artist, and it's like, bro, it's okay. Like
Yeah,
you guys
exactly.
are
It's like
manga
literally
artists.
like this is the mangaka. I don't know how you pronounce it, but like this is the author. He wants to be in this position.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
JoJo's
probably.
with
Yeah, yeah.
where they that.
Kishibe with
Say that again, Kyle.
Kishibe Rohan, just like literally being Iraqi.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's okay though. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine. Like I get it. Like this show is not for. I don't know. Do you think a girl would like this show? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, like, yeah, no, it's definitely like clearly has its like intended audience. But I would say that like I don't think it's like, you know, it's obviously not like as purely wish fulfillment as like, as like literal hentai because they're like she is kind of just as like autistic about this stuff as he is. Like he obviously doesn't know how to like express his feelings or like express like what he wants, but like neither does she because like she like gets just as flustered and it's clear that like she's only doing this like kind of like as because she's unable to like express how she really feels about him. So I like that it's kind of like a double-sided thing. That it's not just like, oh, like he is like clueless and dumb and like she like knows exactly what she wants and she just like, does everything for him so that he doesn't have to do anything to progress their relationship. Like it's clear that it's kind of like, it's like a double-sided thing that they both like don't really know how to actually progress the relationship further. And it also kind of conveniently makes it so that it can be like a really slow paced thing where it'll just kind of perpetually be in this state for a while, which is kind of why I'm hoping that like I feel like we could get a little bit more progression. Like there is like some moments where the senpai will become more
Aware.
confident in himself. But like I do think that it could be better. Like it could happen more, and we could kind of do more like tangible steps to like progress the relationship. Not that they're actually dating or anything, or that like that needs to be what happens next, but just like something like a little bit more to kind of shake
Yeah.
up the formula.
That's
I
fair.
I'm like I just finished watching Horimiya recently, and like I really like that show, but also it kind of fell into a trap where the romance they got together like I think it was like right around 75% way through the show, and it kind of like dawdled. It felt like slower after they got together because like that's the whole goal of a romance anime, and like on the one
Mhm.
hand, I like when they get together because like that's the point, and like that's like you feel good and like you can go past that. But also like I don't like it when they like tease it for a long time because it just feels like it's dragging on and on. Like, oh Jesus Christ, just
Mhm.
get together already. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't want them to fall into that lull post when they get together. So I'm willing to
Yeah.
like allow them to like build up this relationship. But if they're not going to be together for like 3 or 4 more seasons, like that might be a bit too much. But I actually have heard good things about the manga. People have just the comments that I've seen have just been like really looking forward to like the development of the relationship. And I don't know exactly how long it is, but um,
To me, this couldn't be longer than 2 seasons. I feel like it shouldn't be. We'll have to see where it goes,
unless
but
yeah, unless
Yeah.
there was some crazy change, like it would
yeah,
be pretty repetitive after 2 seasons.
yeah, it's
Yeah. I
honestly
mean,
almost already getting there with what Kyle was saying. It's like a
yeah.
formula
Like,
every episode now, right? They just like she
uh-huh.
finds
Yeah.
something to like amuse herself, like by putting him down in some weird way.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's definitely kind of and like, I think that it can go on for a while if there's just like, like a little bit more. It doesn't have to be, like I said, like them getting together. That like there's other ways that you could kind of like progress their relationship and make it feel like they're actually like, taking steps towards that. Um, but it's like it feels like right now we've kind of been in the same stage like the whole show, and I feel like I'm ready to move on to like the next stage, like whatever that is. Like it needs, just something where it's like, oh, they're like now like I don't know, like because right now there's like nothing like they just sort of hang out all the time together. Maybe if they like did something like together, like outside of just hanging out, that like made it so there was like I don't know more of like a like it's like not official, I mean, it doesn't need to be like official as in like they're dating now, but just like something that's more tangible, that you could
Yeah,
say, oh yeah, this part of the show is when their relationship changed from just this to like this, and like we're taking steps towards them actually getting together or them kissing or whatever like the end game is, because I do think that like it's like a reasonably enjoyable formula. So like I think it can go on for a while. It's just that if it's still at this stage for like the entire series and we don't have any sort of like step towards it, towards like the end game, then it'll get stale because like right now I'm kind of saying like, okay, I'm looking forward to like seeing if their relationship will like tangibly progress. And if that just never happens, then I'm just like, okay, I'm not looking forward to that anymore. And then now that like that part of the appeal is like gone. So I don't know. It's kind of like a patience thing. Like how long do I wait before saying, okay, this is just the whole show is just like this is the status quo and this will be it forever.
yeah,
So
I think it will happen soon, just because like the authors like have been acknowledging like some of their changes. I think Senpai, in, like maybe episode like 7 when they went to the fair, or maybe it was 6. He was
mhm.
saying that he was thinking about asking her to go to the fair with him,
Yeah.
and then after the episode, there was like an acknowledgement that they would come back together, and it was Senpai's idea. So I think that they are trying to show growth, but yeah, I agree with you. I hope it's sooner rather than later, because I don't know. It'd be cool if they like, I don't know, maybe like went to summer camp or just got like a change of scenery and
Yeah.
had some kind of reason to evolve as a relationship or something.
yeah,
Like some kind of like arc or something where it's like,
yeah,
oh, like now we're doing like I don't know, like instead of just each episode kind of being a bunch of like little fragments, like a bunch of different little scenes, um, having it be like, oh, now they're like doing something besides just like, hanging out after school.
yeah.
Could be fun.
Yeah,
Switch it
I
up a
think
bit.
that something like that, and then also I feel like them getting together at the end of the season seems likely. So I hope that happens. And if they do go past that, I'm looking into the manga now, and it's still ongoing. There's
Uh-huh.
80 chapters, which doesn't seem like a lot. So
Yeah.
um, doesn't seem like it's too much. The author is interesting. Um,
Oh
he
yeah,
is
he's drawn porn before.
he or she, they don't know, but
Oh.
based off their description, the fact that they draw Dojin, um, and Nagatoro, and the fact that it says that they play Magic the Gathering in their free time,
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Oh
guess
nice. That's epic.
I'm gonna guess it's a dude. But yeah, apparently they
Yeah.
draw a lot of Dojin, including an unofficial but official author Nagatoro Dojin. Like what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
This
I'm
guy's
pretty
living the life.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that like that Nagatoro like started as like a dojin or like something along those lines, like or like maybe just like art that he posted, like a kind of like series or something of just art.
Okay.
And then like people were so into it that he was like, oh, I can maybe, like make this less rated R, and actually just turn it into like a successful series, and definitely worked.
Wow,
It's
that's
very
like
popular and very successful.
that's crazy. That's like Sasha Grey, but an anime character kind of turnaround where they get into porn and then they like get a career in like voice acting or just acting
Twitch
in
streaming
general.
now.
Yeah, pretty funny stuff.
Yeah, going legit.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about the supporting cast a bit, just because I really like the supporting cast because it's just basically Nagatoro's friends and it's no one else, and it's Yoshi and Maki I think are the main ones, and then Sakura is there sometimes.
She's
But
like a
Uh-huh.
newer character, yeah.
I guess they're kind
Yeah,
of
even
this
it's
like
weird with Sakura because she was like there in the first episode,
yeah.
but then like just wasn't there for a while, and now she's just there again, and they didn't really explain like why she wasn't there for a while. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I don't mind her addition. Like she's cool, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by that too. I'm not sure what the thought process was behind that, but I kind of like that they're just kind of like a foil to their relationship almost a little bit, or like a test to their relationship. And it's always really funny, like when Nagatoro was like outside the door, and Senpai and the girls were all in the room, and they were just making all these very out of context sexually like sexual things, like I don't usually have somebody else do this for me, like oh god it's stuck or something, and then they were just pulling out
A
a
splinter.
splinter, and then Nagatoro just like runs in and does it immediately for him. I think that's basically happens almost every episode in some shape or form, and it's always actually really funny, so
Yeah.
I'm glad they're there.
I like Yoshi a lot. She's just so stupid. She just like repeats a random word really loudly and she's just like extremely airheaded. But I love when they did the Isekai parody and she like literally turned into Yoshi. She had like an egg for a bit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It's so
That's pretty
funny.
epic.
Oh yeah, that Isekai episode that was kind of cool, or that dream I should say was like
It
half
was
an
yeah, it
episode.
was interesting. I wasn't like into it immediately, but it was yeah, I liked it. It's cool they have like these fantasy characters that they reuse a lot. Like Nagatoro's got her like cat person, and they did like that joke with the training weights where she takes off her
Yeah.
gloves at one
Yeah,
point, which was pretty funny. And then he's got his uh, isekai guy as well. But you can like see them fighting in the video game at one point too.
yeah, it's refreshing to have that kind of stuff. I feel like in a slower paced show like this, I think
Yeah.
it's a good decision.
Mm.
Uh, let's see. Oh god, I
And
really
yeah, the
like that
Gama's a
scene.
pretty good character too.
Oh, Gamu, is it Maki or Gamu?
I think they call her
I think they
Gama
always
in
call her
Shin.
Gamu.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, she was good with the like bean pastry episode.
That shit was funny.
Yeah. Oh my god. God, they just torture that kid. Yeah, where were
Yeah, but
these
don't tell me
girls?
you wouldn't want to be him.
Yeah, where were these girls when I was in high school, bro? What the hell?
Yeah.
God. Ah, could have been me.
Trying to think of other notable moments. So we don't have a lot of content to talk about because it's not like a super deep thing, but trying to think
Yeah.
of other notable moments.
I
Most
mean,
recent
Dude,
episode was pretty good.
I briefly. What were you gonna say, Paul? Sorry.
The most recent episode I thought was pretty good, but it was kind of a tease at the end. I thought they were building up for something because it was like them in the sunset walking together, and I was like, oh, something's about to happen. And the episode just ended. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, Nagatoro looked cute in her hat outfit, like
Yeah,
how she was like incognito Nagatoro because they
yeah.
were like following them.
She had the Marvel disguise on with the
Yeah,
sunglasses and
just
the
hoodie and the
baseball cap.
hat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually really funny dynamic that they just tried to break up a friend group because they're girls and they can,
that was
and
fucked
then
up.
one of them becomes a stalker. And that joke that Nagatoro made that like he just become the stalker, and they had all the panels of them, both of them just following around Sakura. That was really funny, actually. Oh God. I really liked that scene where they went to the festival and they like went to go see the fireworks, and then they were building up like all this tension, and they're like, basically threatening each other to kiss, and saying they didn't have the balls to. And then like the firework like lights up the scene a bit more, and then they see like actual adults kissing near them, and then they both just like immediately run away, and then it just pans to them sitting but like pretty far away from each other. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely a teenage romance kind of vibe, because I've been there.
Yeah, they just do not know how to express their feelings at all.
Yeah. Uh,
I like
interesting.
the snow cone episode was pretty good because you get to see like a very different, like Nagatoro's like not nearly as overbearing in that, and it's like Senpai gets to shine a bit more in that episode, or I guess it's like a half episode, but still, it was a nice little story.
Yeah, I tend to enjoy episodes a lot more when Nagatoro gets like foiled a bit and like
Yeah.
actually needs help, rather than just
Oh,
bullying the absolute shit out of
in the
Senpai.
in the newest episode with when they have he's got like the lewd semi-lewd manga that he's reading, and like he has to help her out because she can't find it or whatever.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
came in
Yeah, that's
clutch.
cute.
Cute.
Cute. And then I love how like when he was describing it, like even then he was justifying it to himself that it was like for the art
Yeah.
and the
For the
author.
plot.
Yeah, and in his brain, yeah, he's like, oh, like it's the plot. Like that's what I'm into. Is the plot.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Uh,
All right. I mean,
I
Yeah,
guess.
the one thing that I will say about the show though is I kind of do think that like the show would kind of be better served if it wasn't like if it was like like if the episodes were shorter. Like if they were like 5 or 10 minute episodes, I think it would be better just because a lot of the time I do kind of feel like I like know where they're going with the joke and it just takes them a while to get there. And it's not that like that means that like the joke itself is bad or like the scene is bad. It's just I do think it's like kind of there's sometimes where it's like stretched out a little bit too much just because like they have to give time for like everyone to like say their lines and stuff. And I don't know, I think the show might be a little bit more like watchable if it was like shorter episodes and they could kind of like compress that stuff a little bit more. Just because like sometimes I'm like, okay, like I get where the joke is going. And like
aren't
I
the
just have to
episodes
wait for
already
the
like
joke to
half
get there.
episodes? Like it's like 2 episodes. It's like the old Cartoon Network shows, where it's like a half episode or 2 half episodes per episode.
Is it like
Yeah,
that?
they kind of vary it sometimes because I know like sometimes they'll do like a really short one like before the opening credits, before the OP happens. And like I mean I usually think those are pretty well paced. But sometimes like the longer ones, the ones that are like 10 minutes long, I still feel like are kind of long. Like they can be kind of long. It
Gotcha,
just
gotcha.
depends on like it's just kind of hit or miss. Like it depends on like the specific one. Um, but I don't know. It's like sometimes I do kind of feel like my time is a little bit being wasted because I can kind of like figure out where it's going before it gets there. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I think the show might be better served by like being compressed in places.
Gotcha.
That's an interesting take for sure. I think like, watching a full episode is fine. I just kind of wish that they would just do more like per episode, kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like I kind of wish they would just like
Hmm.
progress the show more. That's also an
Yeah.
interesting alternative, but I think I would just prefer if they took more risks at developing their characters rather than just having them at this very, very steady and slow upward maturity level that they have it out.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
interesting.
That's probably my biggest thing about the show. My biggest complaint is probably just the pacing. Like on, I guess both on like the like episode level and then also on like a series level. Like I think it could be a little bit quicker. In terms of yeah, as I said before, talking about like the relationship kind of progressing and then also like the pacing of the individual episodes sometimes. But
Hmm.
like I do enjoy the like I like the dynamic between the characters. So I it's still good to watch. It's just could be better.
Is there anything you guys want to see? I know we kind of alluded to it before, but by the end of this season,
Definitely, I think them getting together. I mean, I'd definitely be okay if it was like a pretty good end of the season and they didn't get together. But I think that's a
hmm
pretty reasonable expectation to have by the end of the season, like a final episode them
I
getting together, or at
I
least going on a date for the first time.
I kind of don't think they'll get together. Just because like I don't think they're together in I mean I don't know because I haven't read the manga, but like just because the manga is still going, I kind of feel like they're probably not together in the manga yet. Um, but what I would like before the season, like that would be cool if they got together. Just I would be kind of like I would be surprised given that the manga is still so popular. I'd be like, damn, they must really like find a way to keep it fresh after they're together. But I don't think that's gonna happen. What I would like before like the end of the season is like maybe like what there's like 3 episodes left. So maybe if like not even all of them, maybe like the last two or something are like more of like an arc or something where they maybe end in like, oh, their relationship is now in like a slightly different place than it was before, just to get like some tangible growth between in their dynamic. Like
Yeah,
if we can say confidently, like, yes, we are ending the season in like a much different place than we started. I do think that like even if it ended right now, even if it was like a 9 episode season for whatever reason, I do think like it would be like, yeah, we're like, there was some progression, like they're like on good terms and stuff, and like, Senpai's a little bit more self-confident. Um, but I think I would like there to be a little bit more before the end of the season, personally.
yeah,
me too.
I agree.
If we end this season where we started, that would just make me want to watch the second season less because I know it's just gonna take me longer to get to a conclusion I want to see. But I only have so much time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other closing thoughts on Nagatoro-san?
Nope.
Cool. Should we do ratings?
Sure.
Do we do ratings?
I
In the
mean, we
mini
could also wait
seasons.
till the season's over if when we
Yeah, we can just
revisit it.
wait till I don't think we did ratings for like To Your Eternity. So,
We did, I think.
oh, did
Oh
we?
no, we did joke ratings, I think.
Uh,
Yeah, we can just wait till the season's over. Because I mean, honestly, like it kind of will depend on how it ends, I think. For
gotcha.
me at least.
Yeah, and then we'll have something to talk about in the next episode
Yeah.
anyway. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
I think that's it. Follow us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Spotify, and our Twitch name is now updated to Anime Soirée. Props to me. Took 30 seconds.
Whew.
Big
Oof.
deal. Big deal. I know. Alrighty. We're signing off. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.